Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first breakout session in our Security Operations Technology track. I'm Dana Torgersen, Director of Product Marketing for our Security Business Unit here at Sumo Logic. And let me first say thank you all for attending. I truly hope you and your families and your business and colleagues are healthy and safe. So today I'm going to discuss how you can get started with security at Sumo Logic and orient you to our three primary solutions using our Cloud SIEM offering. Now, as a bit of housekeeping, please ask any questions that you may have in the chat window during the session. And we have folks on hand that can help jump in and answer them while I'm presenting. But at the end, we'll have an open Q&A so that I can get to any questions that may still be unanswered. So let's get started. First, I want to start off that one of our core values at Sumo Logic for all of our employees is we're in it with our customers. And I love that, especially when we get the opportunity to spend a virtual morning, afternoon, or evening together, whenever and wherever you're seeing this, and share what we've been up to for the last year. We also get to engage with all of you to hear about your challenges and your success stories too. But another core value of ours at Sumo Logic is bring light to dark. In fact, our value statement says, and I've got that here for you too, we seek to provide transparency internally and externally because information and context produces better decisions and removes uncertainty. But I like how my professor back at school phrased it. He always told us, happiness can be found in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light. God, I miss Dumbledore. Now, I think it's absolutely fitting. And it's not a coincidence that we can discuss lighting the darkness in the context of security here at our fourth annual Illuminate User Conference. Now, many of you, I realize, you come from a wide variety of functional teams across different organizations. And I also realize not everyone is in a security operations team or has a formal SOC running 24/7 with 50 analysts. Some of you are in IT operations, and others are in DevOps, or others, maybe you folks are within different lines of your business. But the brilliance of Sumo Logic's unified platform is that you're all looking at the same data. You're all singing from the same songbook. And this is what we refer to as our continuous intelligence, which delivers real-time analytics and insights for everyone. We're helping you collect data from any infrastructure, application, or service, regardless if it's on-prem, cloud, hybrid, IoT, or even SaaS delivered. And then our cloud native platform delivers your entire org with the operational, business, and of course, security insights, which is why I'm glad you're in our security track right now. Now, if we were face-to-face right now, I could connect with you and talk to you even closer. I would ask everyone to give me a show of hands. See which one of you are in SecOps functions or working in a SOC, in a security operations center. But I can't. So let me share with all of you some of the key challenges that your colleagues in security are currently facing around the globe. In a nutshell, security operations must change. Cloud migration spending, it was growing at 6 times the pace of general IT spending. And that was before the COVID pandemic hit. And according to our 2020 State of SecOps and Automation report published in July, out of 3 out of 4 security teams, they agree that their cloud infrastructures generate more security alerts than similar on-prem environments. The problem, though, is security tools, legacy security tools and SIEMs, they weren't built for this cloud transformation and have resulted in more threat visibility gaps than ever before. Migrating apps to the cloud have shifted the threat landscape and created an explosion of attack surface. In fact, 67% of security professionals in that same report, they said that their increase in the number of security alerts stems from new and evolving threats, while 55% blamed the increase in their cloud infrastructures. Now, the threat landscape also dramatically shifted due to the pandemic, where employees were, or in many cases still are, myself included, still working from home at a global scale. This has never, ever been seen before. And I think most of you also know that there's always the risk that a simple misconfiguration could lead to a major data breach. And finally here, another one of these challenges, 83% of security teams in that report said that their staff are experiencing alert fatigue. And 75% of them, 3 out of 4, said that they would have to go out and they would have to hire 3 or more analysts just to be able to conquer all their daily alerts. But facing an ongoing resource and cybersecurity skill shortage means that you can't hire enough people to address and manually triage all of those alerts. There's simply too many alerts, and you can't get to them all. So none of the traditional approaches, including legacy SIEMs, outsourcing, or hiring more experts, will help modernize your security operations. Organizations need a modern cloud SIEM to secure their cloud journey, to match the changing attack surface, and also bring innovation back to SecOps. Now with Sumo Logic, we've got all sorts of SIEM customers. Obviously today I'm telling you about how you can use Sumo for security. In fact, of these customers that I'm sharing here on the chart for us here for Illuminate, Clorox, Sykes, the Energy Authority, they're each presenting today in our SecOps in Action track. And I encourage you to check those out, those sessions out as well. Those are breakout sessions that you can find in what we call Channel 4. So we've got large-scale enterprises using Sumo across their SecOps and ITOps teams, bringing them together and getting them to help speed up and modernize their investigation and their SOC processes. Clorox is actually a great example of that. Also, we've got organizations with SecOps and compliance use cases, and who also use us as their threat hunting platform. Sykes falls right under that camp there. And in fact, they're also using our special operations service, which is our team of threat hunting experts and industry security experts, cybersecurity experts, to help support Sykes hunting efforts and help them continuously improve content as well. We also got, you have classic, agile, smaller sized organizations, and they're scaling their lightweight and often understaffed security teams with the ease of use and the SOC automation that we provide. A great example of that comes to mind is Yext here on the screen. But we also deliver compliance at scale for organizations who desire a truly cloud native solution. Some orgs are so focused on the capability, the flexibility, the extensibility, and the elasticity of our platform that they simply choose to buy our platform to meet their sophisticated SecOps requirements. A great example of that is Alaska Airlines. And we're also, could be considered the market leader in cloud native central log management, or what Gartner would call a CLM, right? So we actually have many customers with cloud environments who simply use Sumo Logic as their security data lake for security logging and for security alerting as well. And Pokemon actually comes to mind when I think of that as well. So regardless of the use cases that maybe you have or members of your security operations team, again, I'm not sure who is in our audience today, but I'm presuming that there's a mix of folks from different branches within IT and within security. So take a look at how you could be utilizing this platform, and then be able to go deeper with all the different sessions that we're going to be having today. Now, you might have heard, Sumo Logic acquired a SOC automation analytics vendor, JASK, based out of Texas, out of Austin, Texas, just last November. And now we have an entire business unit now dedicated to security solutions. And so what I wanted to share with you today is to kind of orient you around our intelligence solutions and how you can use our cloud SIEM really in 3 different solutioned ways. Beginning on the left here with compliance, we've got Elastic Data Lake that you can store all of your data using a secure cloud native platform. And that's backed by numerous certifications and attestations that I'll get to shortly. With a host of out-of-the-box pre-built compliance apps, you can actually enjoy rapid time to value for your security audits. And we've got flexible, efficient, value-based licensing model that enables you to economically establish compliance and also occasionally search your data. And here, the great example of that would be our infrequent tiering option. Now, other customers, that might be great for some customers, maybe other customers, maybe you that I'm talking to today, want to go a little bit further. Well, the solution using us for security analytics might come to mind and might be a better fit for you. So security analytics, building on this solutioning for compliance, Sumo Logic offers security analytics, and it's the power of performing deep searches against your data set. So we offer the foundational correlation and alerting that's required for analyzing your security alert logs, along with data enrichment and visualization of your data using pre-built and customizable dashboards. Sumo Logic also provides capabilities for your security operations, including integrated threat intelligence via our included industry-leading CrowdStrike threat intel feed. So that actually comes with our platform. So it's there for you to use. Also, detection and alerting on anomalies via our outlier detection technology is part of our security analytics, solutioning. We also have log reduce and log compare, utilizing machine learning technology to rapidly sift through large data sets and perform time-based log comparisons to look for past activities and behaviors in different periods of time that you can choose and customize. Lastly, community threat benchmarking, using our global intelligence service, which is comparing your AWS guard duty and your CloudTrail threat data to that of all other Sumo Logic customers. And of course, the data is anonymized, but it gives you that ability to then compare the trends of threats and the exposure to threats as those of your peers. Great example, great use case of that solutioning of security analytics. Finally, on the right here, Cloud SIEM. Here we bring to bear with Cloud SIEM Enterprise add-on capability, continuous threat correlation. And that's allowing you to go back weeks versus just hours. And it's done across your on-prem, your cloud, multi-cloud, hybrid cloud data sources using our out-of-the-box content rules. Also, it brings you a streamlined security analyst workflow. And this is built by analysts for analysts with built-in event management to ensure collaboration and improve team efficiencies as well. And SOC automation with our automated incident prioritization and alert triage. This is what helps eliminate the noise and the pain of alert fatigue that so many businesses out there are experiencing in their SOCs and security operations. So this is it. This just kind of gives you a quick overview of where you may fall in this spectrum of need or spectrum of use cases and how you're able to best use the Sumo Logic capability to your advantage for your situation. So modernizing your SIEM. Let's begin here. Let's talk about how you can drastically modernize your SIEM with our Cloud SIEM Enterprise offering. Now, I'm showing you here our security interface with the HUD or heads-up display page from Cloud SIEM Enterprise. In the upper left-hand corner, you easily see exactly what Cloud SIEM Enterprise is doing. It's automatically ingesting and parsing your structured and unstructured data into normalized records. In this case, it's 2 million records for the last 24-hour period. Then we're reducing those records down to thousands of security alerts, or what we call signals. And in this case, 92,000 for the last 24-hour period, which is up about 13% from the previous day, according to my little green indicator there. And this, folks, this is generally where all other SIEM solutions stop. Maybe even the SIEM that you've been using today, because maybe you haven't actually turned on Sumo Logic to use it as your SIEM. So these existing legacy SIEM solutions, even some so-called next-gen solutions, they leave you with their 92,000 security alerts or notable events for you to manually validate, to correlate and triage, or maybe if you're a larger organization, you'll have strung together some scripts or playbooks to help automate some of this process. Sumo Logic's Cloud SIEM Enterprise goes further though, and it uses pre-built customizable content out of the box to analyze those signals and surface a manageable amount of critical insights that need immediate attention by an analyst. We call these insights. And in this particular environment, we appear to have 5 insights in the last 24-hour period. And I'm talking about a 24-hour period because just off the right of the upper left-hand corner, it says 1 day. That's where I can choose between different hours of the day, a day, 2 days, 3 days, 7 days. And the entire heads-up display page changes based on that period that you're looking at. So we show this entire process playing out visually in the center of the screen, with the blue line representing the records that we processed from the top, moving clockwise around the entire 24-hour period that's currently chosen. And you can also see the firing of those signals that were generated by the blue bar charts that are going outwards clockwise around the circle. And in the center are the triangles that were representing our insights that we surfaced. Now, red indicates a new insight, something that you got to get right on. And I've hovered over one of them here for you. Apparently in that 30-minute period, there was an insight. I can drill down on that and start getting to work as a security analyst. Orange triangles that show up, those represent insights that are in progress by either myself or one of my teammates or some other security analyst. White triangles show up. Those are for insights that are mapped to other stages of your choosing, and that can be customizable. And green colored triangles, those show insights that have been closed by security analysts. So you know you don't have to keep working on that anymore. Now, if you want to catch a demo of Cloud SIEM Enterprise in action, I'll actually be providing 8 to 10-minute demos throughout the day. But to go much deeper, check out Stephen Dietz's in-depth technical demonstrations on exactly how we detect Office 365 account compromises, AWS privilege escalations, and more. Now, with the acquisition I mentioned of JASK and our integration and our development efforts, we've now checked all boxes and have added groundbreaking innovation, as you can see here on this chart. So Sumo Logic now delivers the foundational capabilities that you should expect in your cloud SIEM, providing you with architecture and deployment to log management analytics, real-time monitoring, all the way around the horn to incident response. So let me just walk through a couple of those quickly. When it comes to the architecture and deployment, what we're delivering is a modern cloud-native SIEM for you. No hardware, no software, no updates or patches required on your part. We try to make it as easy as it can be to manage and to maintain for you. Rapid deployment, get you up and running quickly, quick time to value, with 140 plus integrations and more than 300 out-of-the-box content rules that can correlate and make sense of all that data you're bringing in. Data from anywhere. On the right here, log management and analytics. We've got a cloud-native secure data lake with tiered data analytics, continuous to frequent to infrequent, and so on. Correlation rules to make sense of the data, as I mentioned, falls under the log management as well. And compliance readiness for security frameworks that maybe you're facing or have to be regulated against, like PCI DSS, Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, HIPAA for healthcare, Sarbanes-Oxley, SOX, ISO 27001, NIST 800-53-171, and now NIST CMMC, which is starting to get traction and start getting a lot of questions asked by folks. When it comes to real-time monitoring of your data, which of course is paramount for a SIEM, we've got our heads-up display UI that I just surfaced for you folks, and those real-time insights, those little triangles based on the rules and correlation and the algorithm we have that's actually surfacing those for you. And more than 400 pre-built security dashboards and alerts based on our content and our integrations that we have with different cloud and on-prem providers. User and threat context. Here's where you're going to benefit with having user and administrative behavior monitoring, our integrated threat intelligence coming from our included CrowdStrike threat feed, as well as the framework being able to ingest other threat intelligence feeds of your choosing, frameworks that you're already probably using and have invested in. And network traffic monitoring, where we've actually included a Zeek, formerly known as Bro, network sensor to be able to pull network traffic, start doing file carving. You can apply those files that you've carved out and we put into a secure S3 bucket for you that you as an analyst then can go to your favorite repository, GitHub, and maybe find Yara-based rules that you want to be able to scan those files. Maybe it's a PDF and you want to look for something that might be malicious inside of that. That's all included in part of that Cloud SIEM Enterprise as well. And then finally, incident response, where we're helping you to already automate the alert triage and prioritize them for what you need to focus on immediately, the real threats that matter. But that guided analyst workflow that brings you through the UI, brings you through the security interface, allowing you to get on the project, to go working backwards from now you have an insight that's fired, and now you're going to work backwards to the signal that makes it up, the records that make that up, and the ability to go deep into the Sumo Logic data lakes, to do deep search, full queries, whatever it is that you might be looking for to find out what else that attacker might have been up to or where else they might have impacted your organization. And also, we've got integration with SOAR and help desk tools that, again, maybe you've already invested in those. And here's a great better together story to utilize that in those SIEM capabilities. The ability to analyze cloud and app security. We're talking about security analytics. Here's a great example of how you can utilize a dashboard to your advantage. Maybe in the upper left-hand corner here, we'll start with that. Integration with third-party security technologies. I've chosen to show Okta here so you can get that user activity and login activity, but you can be building out dashboards for Cisco, Netscope, Cylance, what have you. On the right-hand side, compliance insights, like in particular, CloudTrail security group activity. So we're looking at this from a PCI lens, and also full stack security capabilities and visibilities for you. I mentioned earlier about the integrated threat intelligence with CrowdStrike, AWS GuardDuty, CloudTrail, We've got a great example of a session coming up right after me where Brandon is going to expand on that a little bit further. And also security visibility into hybrid and multi-cloud tools. I've just on a whim, I chose the Palo Alto Networks firewall traffic. And I'm mashing that together. This is a dashboard for AWS security overview, but it just made sense to be able to see what's happening in AWS, but also then what, of course, my firewalls are seeing, especially as it comes into my users and their traffic. Over in the left-hand side, out of the box apps here, on the lower left, although my panel doesn't reflect the actual app names, but it's from more than 200 apps that we've got, including AWS, GCP, Office 365, Salesforce.com, Zoom for monitoring, system performance and security for your work from home staff, just to name a few. And rounding it out here on the left, machine learning anomalies to be able to detect anomalies. In particular, here I'm looking at the virtual the VPC flow traffic volume coming out for my network traffic. And this is, of course, looking through a sense of whether there's any data being exfiltrated. So this is just barely scratches the surface of how you can use the product to your advantage in this security analytics fashion. I mentioned earlier, one of the ways customers are using our Sumo Logic platform is for making compliance easier. Now, our cloud native platform helps accelerate your compliance readiness with broad integration support and pre-built dashboards and reports. This lets you easily tailor the platform to your needs, and this provides you visibility and real-time insights into your compliance posture. Now, our next presenter, Brandon, is going to be coming up after me in more detail about what these compliance dashboards and reports look like. And one of my top sales engineers, Dan Reardon, he's actually offering live compliance demos throughout the conference today, so be sure to check those out as well. I also want to add, not only do we utilize AES 256-bit encryption for data at rest and TLS encryption for data in transit, we use top industry auditors that many of you likely already know. Our compliance budget alone for these auditors, not counting our own full-time headcounts, our software costs, our pen testing costs, it adds up to more than $1.5 million a year. And all of our customers get this for free as part of our Sumo Logic service. So if you went with competing on-prem solutions, you're responsible for that scope and costs. And if you compare Sumo Logic to competing cloud offerings, nobody else has all of these certifications and attestations, including a mature bug bounty program that can be shared with Sumo customers and prospects under NDA. Now, I say this rather matter-of-factly to help you fully understand our commitment to security and the scale and effort that's required to provide the most secure cloud-based analytics service on the market. Now, I mentioned at the beginning, this session is just an opener. So I also want to guide you through all the other great security content that we've got lined up for you today. For instance, if you are interested in cloud SIEM solutioning, Eric von der Linden, he's got a great session, a deeper look at Sumo Logic Cloud SIEM Enterprise. He's going to be coming up in just about 30 minutes here, right here on this channel. Chaz Clausen's got a session called Unique Security Requirements for Cloud and Modern Technologies. Check him out. He'll be a little bit later in the day. I'll be doing a demo, which actually aligns with Eric von der Linden's session, also called A Deeper Look at Sumo Logic Cloud SIEM Enterprise. If you actually want to see not just me showing a static screenshot like I just did, but actually see the product in use. And I realize this is something new for many of you, as we did not have this capability under Sumo Logic just last year. If you're interested in security analytics, and that's perfectly fine for you, that's exactly what you need for your organization and for your security operations, check out Brandon. He's got a session coming up, leveraging the Sumo Logic platform for security and compliance, coming up next right here, so don't leave. Mia Wilhelm, she has an accompanying demo by the same name to walk you through exactly what Brandon is going to be sharing with you. I mentioned Dan Reardon. He's got a demo called Compliance Made Easy. So there's nothing easier than that. And he's going to go deeper and show you how you can address the frameworks like PCI and HIPAA and SOX and ISO 27001, and of course, NIST frameworks as well. Bring any questions that you might have with you to that demo. And rounding it out, we've got threat intelligence. James Plager, he's actually the head of our special operations, or SecOps as we call them. He's running a session to talk about the threat landscape. So it's emerging threats, a view from the front lines. And Adam Steckelman's got a demo talking about AWS Security Benchmark, which is what I mentioned earlier as part of security analytics, the ability to have a comparison, Global Intelligence Service, GIS, looking at your CloudTrail data or your guard duty data and comparing yourself to your peers, which are all the other Sumo Logic customers that have that data also, the threat information that you can compare to. Plus, we've got a great host of customer security sessions. You can hear directly from the teams at Clorox, Sykes, the Energy Authority, Auth0, Sega Europe. Of course, Sega, we've all played Sega over our years. They're actually sharing their story up next over in our SecOps in Action on channel number 4. Well, I hope I've given you a better understanding of how Sumo Logic can help with your security use cases and bring light to the darkness you or your SecOps team have been facing. And I hope I've encouraged you to go deeper and learn more about our security solutions in our other sessions and demos. At this point, let's switch over to our Q&A. If you'd like to ask a question, simply type it into the chat window and we'll get to as many that we can here in the time that we have remaining.